how you will signal your location to the outside world. Create a rotation schedule for your group to watch and listen for rescuers. Continue signaling both day and night to help you get rescued more quickly. Sixth, discuss long-term survival strategies as a group. Use your strategy planning sessions to ration supplies, address each other's fears and concerns, regain a sense of control, and even discuss entertainment. Use input from the radio and from each other to make your decisions for the next few days. The seventh thing to do is to divide the sandwiches and eat them this evening. You'll probably get hungry later in the evening or in the morning. You should eat the sandwiches before they spoil to avoid the risk of food poisoning. Remember, you have no utilities, so your refrigerator will not stay cold very long, especially once it's been open. And poultry should not be left at room temperature for more than 2 to 4 hours. Purifying the water source is ranked 8th because it's optional. It will neither help you nor hurt you at this time. The water in the water heater and coffee machine is safe to drink as is. If you decide to use the bathroom water or if someone gets ill from contaminated water, you can purify the water by using 5 to 10 drops of chlorine bleach for each gallon. Pounding on the pipes with a steel wrench is ranked 9th because it may not be safe. You could cause a spark if you strike the steel wrench against a metal pipe. If there's enough gas in the air, this could result in a fire or an explosion. It's also remotely possible that you could damage the structure around you. Divide the sandwiches and ration them over the next few days is ranked 10th. Four sandwiches and some chips is not enough food to significantly extend your survival time. Normal, healthy people can live for 3 weeks without food, so eat the sandwiches before they spoil and cause food poisoning. 11th is attempt to remove the rubble from the entrance to the first floor. You don't have the proper equipment to safely move rubble. Besides, it's always safer to wait for rescuers to remove the debris from the top instead of trying to move it from the bottom. You could cause a cave-in and injure or kill the people involved. The step that you should rank last is to light the candle so that you can see, and rescuers will be able to locate you. Use the flashlight instead. There may well be residual gas even though you've turned off the utilities. An open flame in this basement could cause a gas explosion or ignite a spilled chemical solution. Lighting these candles is the most dangerous thing you can do.
At this point, the columns for the expert's rank should be completely filled in. To complete the exercise, you need to calculate your individual score and your team score. First, calculate the difference between the number in column A and the number in column B for each action step. Write the difference in column C. Pluses and minuses don't count. Now add all the numbers in column C. This is your individual score. Next, calculate the difference between the number in column D and the number in column E for each action step. Write the difference in column F. Again, pluses and minuses don't count. Now, add all the numbers in column F. This is your team score. Your facilitator will guide you through the calculation of the team effectiveness scores. Now that you've completed the scoring process, use this section of the Earthquake Team Building Simulation videotape to learn how to interpret your scores. Learning about earthquakes and how to survive them is important, but the main reason to participate in the earthquake exercise is to learn about team effectiveness. Simply putting a group of people together in a room doesn't make them an effective team. It takes practice. It involves learning new concepts, and it requires a willingness on the part of each team member to honestly evaluate how the group is doing and to work on making improvements. The earthquake simulation exercise provides you with an opportunity to do that, to help turn your group into an effective team. Now that you've completed the exercise and scoring process, it's important that you understand what the scores mean. Your individual score represents the degree to which you, as an individual, agree with the earthquake experts. The lower the score, the greater your agreement with the experts and the better your chance for survival. A high score indicates less agreement with the experts and a lower chance for survival. The individual score can reflect a person's prior knowledge about earthquakes and survival techniques, or it can reflect how well the individual without any prior knowledge can solve this kind of problem. The average individual score is the average of all the individual scores in your group. It indicates how well, on average, you and your team members solve the problem working alone. It is not an indicator of how well your group worked together as a team. The team score is the measure of how well your group solved the problem. The lower the score, the better the team's performance. In most cases, the team will outperform the individual. The synergy score compares your team score with the average individual score. It represents how effectively your team used all the diverse resources available to it. If your team score was better, lower than the average individual score, then your group probably worked effectively together as a team. It used all the ideas, knowledge, and opinions available from all its members. This is reflected by a positive synergy score. If your team score was worse, higher than the average individual score, then your group may have had some problems functioning as a team. This is reflected by a negative synergy score. The percent change provides a more precise indication of how well your group worked together. It describes the quality of team performance in terms of percentages, which most people understand more easily. The percent change summarizes your average individual and team scores into one easy-to-understand index. It allows you to compare your group to others. In an ideal situation, your team score would be lower than the lowest individual score. This represents the best example of synergistic decision-making because it means that the team outperformed every individual. However, if some individuals in your group scored better than the team, your group should examine its group dynamics for possible causes. For instance, what role did those individuals play during the exercise? Did they offer their ideas? Did the group listen to them? The earthquake simulation was designed to do more than just involve your group in a decision-making exercise. It should also demonstrate how group dynamics can impact both the quality and the acceptance of a decision. There is a formula that states that the effectiveness of a decision is the product of its quality times its acceptance. The formula suggests that it is important to give equal attention to both the quality of the thinking that goes into making the decision, as well as its acceptance. As you can see by the formula, if either of these factors is zero, then the effectiveness of the decision is zero. During the earthquake exercise, your group was instructed to arrive at its team ranking by reaching a consensus on all its decisions. This should have demonstrated that consensus decision-making increased both the quality and the acceptance of the decision. By involving a number of people in the decision-making process, you will often have a higher quality decision as well as a better accepted decision. This should make the decision easier to implement in most organizations. This model of the decision-making process shows why. It compares the directive process of decision-making to the participative process. In the directive process, where one person makes the decisions for many, the decision-making time may be relatively short, but the implementation time can be very long, sometimes indefinite. This might be caused if those responsible for carrying out the decision offer resistance, don't buy into it, don't understand it, or even sabotage the implementation. In the participative process, it may take longer to arrive at a decision, but the implementation time is much shorter. This is because the people responsible for implementing the decision have been involved in making the decision. They feel a sense of ownership about it. The logic of this formula is simple, and its results are indisputable. People support that which they help create. To conclude the earthquake exercise, get back together to explore your group's dynamics. Discuss how your group worked during the consensus decision-making portion of the exercise. Ask yourself these questions. What did we do that made us more effective? What did we do that blocked our effectiveness? How did we distribute the leadership in our group? Why did we do it this way? Did every member have an opportunity to contribute to the decision? If not, why not? What did we learn from this exercise that we can use in our business or organization? How can we effectively transfer what we've learned so that we don't repeat past mistakes? This part of the exercise points out the benefits of participation and collaboration. You will be able to transfer this experience to your workplace and even to your personal life. The earthquake simulation exercise is an example of learning by doing. It was designed to provide you and your organization with an effective means of improving individual as well as team performance. Thank you very much for participating.